I re-downloaded GeoGuessr on my iPad because I was trying to do the league. They don't have it on the app apparently, so I found this thing Infinity mode. I'm like, I don't know what that is, so let's try it out. So this is me trying it out. Um, yeah, and I'm just gonna do a general voiceover to try and recollect my thought process. You can see the URL at that point. DK, so we're in Denmark. Where are we in Denmark? Looking rainy, but it's also looking city, so I'm thinking we're on the edge of something, of some type of city, by some water. I don't know why I always feel like we're by water with cities, but it's feeling like we're by the edge of water with this city, right? And I do believe I found the name around this point. You can see the address, Trend, Bjerg. So I don't know why. I think maybe is it Burger Bjerg? I don't. Anyway, I was thinking that this was like a neighborhood of a bigger city. So which one? It's not giving Copenhagen esque. Doesn't feel so busy. Doesn't feel so planned out. Doesn't feel super foot trafficy. So I was like, nah, it's not Copenhagen. Um, so then I'm just looking around until I find a place. Where did I end up plotting? I don't remember. Not Denza. And it looks like the map you can kind of tilt now. Uh, you, I don't know. It's not super flat. I don't know if that's something that's been the case in the app, and I just haven't been on the app recently. Well, I haven't because I had to re-download it. But anyway, I think I ended up going Alberg because again I was thinking by water, right? Which okay, Denmark, like a lot of the cities are on the water. Most of the big cities are on the water or big access supports. So wrong a city, but I was close enough to get in the 4,000 point range. Okay, and they have these little things on these little blurbs once you guess that say different things, as we'll see throughout. This next location is looking flat, and we saw what looked like a Germanic language, but of course, we have blue on the license plate. So, as much as I would love to say Switzerland, it's not Switzerland at all because we have blue on the license plate. I didn't notice it. I'm not sure if I noticed it here or later on, but it does say DE, so we are in Germany. At some point, I do pull up the map and zoom in on Germany. I think I didn't at that point with the DE, but let's watch as I figure out. I was trying to see if this maybe had this sign to the right had some type of highway number. It did not. It just had German. So where are we? It's not looking like Austria. It's looking more like a business town, like a business center where people walk and do business things. But not looking like Austria. Not what's the word? I don't want to say clean. Not clear enough to look like Switzerland in my mind. I'm trying to see this political poster if maybe it had a town name, blah blah blah. I don't think it did. I think I saw something else that said that the town name. Where is it? Let's see. Where did I find it? Sure, it was not there. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, for some reason I went Northern Germany. Probably again the water thing. It felt like it was by water. This kind of looks like some parts of what Copenhagen reminds me of. Also South Africa, but obviously it was not. But where did I find the name of the town? Let's see if I catch it real quick. Oh, on this sign on the left. I think it said on the top, Hamburg or something. So Hamburg, and we went by the water, plonk, and I was not at all far off. So, look at me. This next place, where was it? I don't know what the infinity implies. We just keep going on and on. I assume it does. So, looking like Spanish. I think I saw via something, but then I saw this sign that clearly was then Italian. So, the question is where in Italy? I tried to get to this sign, but I zoom past and a car is blocking, so I have to once again find my way around. I should have noticed the double blue plates at that point, but at this point I already known it was Italy, so that really wasn't an issue. I was just trying to find the city name, trying to see if maybe on the corner of a building there was something. Didn't see anything enough on this sign, so I kept looking. Bedetti, and we have the Rome on the bottom of the logo, but that could just always be the logo. But I say, you know what, we're going with Rome because I don't have a better guess, and I'm not trying to spend 50 hours on this thing. Do you see the map tilt there? Did you see the map tilt? But it's kind of like also giving a bit of topography. So I'm about to go Rome, right? I'm just ready to plonk it. I do believe I find something else that says Rome, and it's why I felt a bit more confident in sending Rome. Where was the thing that I found that said from? I think it was a star sign. And it was the Roma something. So I was just gonna send Rome. Plonk somewhere city S, but not so touristy. There I was again by the water. Not too far from water. Is one ever really far from water? I mean, yes, depending on where we are. But okay, what's this? I don't remember what this is. This says Stampede City. So I'm like, are we? Is there a town called Stampede City? At first, I thought this was the U.S., northwestern U.S., but then it was like, no, this is Canada. This is Canada. We see the domain name, the namisushi.ca. Where in Canada is this? Is this Toronto? It's giving lots of immigrants live here. I thought this blue sign above the corner of this building might have had a name somewhere, but I'm like, let me zoom in on Toronto, okay? But where are we? Didn't have anything on this sign, just some general Arlington Street, and I don't know anything about any streets in Canada, so that didn't ring off any bells. Maybe it would have for someone else, but not for me. So then we look at this bus. And in fact, we are in Calgary, so not at all. Wrong province. Zooming on Calgary. I'm at an intersection. I'm at, I believe, I think I zoomed back in, 14 something. 14th Street, Southwest, I think it was. If I remember correctly, it's 14 and 17 Avenue. So we're just going to scan the map for these streets, the street in that avenue. There's 17th Avenue. There's 14th Street, but I'm saying this from the future. I had to double check. But we were going south, it looked like. So I put it a bit above the intersection because the map, once I figured out where I was going south. So there we go. Center, 5K. Thank you, lady. Thank you. Yes. Okay, you see, wow, perfect score, very impressive. Be sure to share this location to their friends. I did not. I did not. It says something later on about sharing locations and becoming friends. I don't know. Anyway, looking around here, where was this? I wasn't sure. I was going to have to do some more looking around. At first, I was approaching this red bus, and I think there was text on the bus, so I was trying very slowly to approach it, and it wasn't going. And then it just completely sent me past it. So I had to look around me and backtrack. But there was a domain at the bottom, so I was, let me see the domain. Zoom. Okay, I'm close. Letdown. It's just .eu. A letdown. Disappointment. So looking around, trying to see if maybe there's, one little license plate that isn't. that isn't blurred out completely. I think we do see on the far in that placard on the wall that we have a .sk. And then also we see the city name turns in, so that's where we go. And we're just going to plonk. I'm by the water, so let me just plonk somewhere by the water. I'm still by the water. Don't know what that's about, but, okay. Then where was this? Okay, yes. So this is looking flat, but also I feel like if this houses... Yes, I did look at this option when you push the settings icon. This is looking flat, but these buildings feel like if it was a different greenery around it, it could be in the middle of the Great Lakes region. It could be, somewhere in like Illinois, but Elgin. So I'm like, this placard above the street looks kind of like a Canadian placard. Is this Canada? But it looks way too dry. Way too dry. San Jacinto, so I'm like, okay, Spanish, Hispanophone area, history of Hispanophone. Then we see Greater Houston. So not at all Canada, but Texas. Texas. All right. So Greater Houston. Is that a region? Is that a suburb of the city at large? I don't know what Greater Houston is, so that's why at this point I had it zoomed farther out in. I'm like, maybe this is just, probably my guess is this is just little Houston proper. So I'm trying to zoom in to see the market. So we have Midtown, Second Ward, allowing me to see Greater OST / South Union. I'm trying to see where Greater Houston might be. Also, maybe San Jacinto. I don't know if that's a street name or if that's also like an area. We do have Jacinto City, but I didn't look at that at that point, so it doesn't really factor in into my play here. So I'm thinking Greater OST. Maybe OST is Oost for Houston. I don't know. I'm just gonna plonk somewhere there is where I'm thinking. I'm like, but let me check. Let me make sure I can't find some clue easy. I'm not again trying to do a super in-depth play here. I'm really just trying to test out this new mode. This is a mode that you can get lost in, just spend so much time on. I do wish that it was something that you could just exit and come back to as opposed to like leave the game. But I say, is this giving Vibery around here, or maybe it's actually closer to Central Houston because we do have some, business buildings looking. So this Greater Heights area, I think, is where I decided to plonk. And in fact, it was not Greater OST, but it was Midtown. So yeah. But I did, 4K. So we have Spanish, and I'm thinking this is Argentina, Uruguay region. I'm not sure. I see the little dot on the license plate. I'm like, okay, it's probably Argentina. And we do have the URL that looks like AR from afar, but I had to get close. So it is Argentina, but where Argentina? Looking, big city-esque, but not necessarily Buenos Aires. I was thinking Rosario, but I think I ended up going Buenos Aires anyway, because it felt by the water. It felt like it was by the water. And it was Cordoba, so, it's whatever. Cordoba, whatever. 3K. I'm like, okay, all right, I'm no longer getting 4Ks. It's time to pack it up here. Just looking at Indonesia. Indonesia's huge. I'm not trying to do all the most. But I see Soto Medan on the bottom of this. I'm like, oh, it's in Medan. Must be, right? That could have been a listing, for all I know, of just every city they have a store in. But I saw Medan, so I'm like, where's Medan? Let me go find it. I find Medan. We're just going to plonk Medan somewhere. And I think it ends up being nowhere near Medan. Nowhere near Medan at all. To be fair, I didn't really look much, but that's okay. And I'm just like, okay, let me just exit out. And I'm like, I'm going to exit out unless, of course, I find a round that seems really easy. So this one, I'm like, okay, are we back in South America? It's kind of looking like South America-esque. They have the Pelicuria Afroamericana. I'm like, Afroamericana, that sounds more like, New World Hemisphere, right? But I'm not sure at which point I noticed that we were not in that hemisphere. I think it must have been at some point when I saw Madrid somewhere. I think it was on this concert plaque page. Something Madrid. They usually don't put posters up for cities they're not in, right? So, like Madrid. So then I start checking out the license plates, and lo and behold, those are European license plates. This isn't necessarily what I had in mind for Madrid, but the evidence is there. So not super central Madrid, but like periphery Madrid, but not super periphery Madrid is what I was vibing with. This looks like a place where it's, outside of the city, but it's also like a place where people frequent to do their groceries and their shopping. So not super central Madrid, but that's what I was vibing with. Okay. And there we go. I'm not sure why I keep saying not super central. I went barely off central. So, And I'm like, okay, let me try and see if I can just save this next round and come back. So I looked around. I said, leave game. This map pops up. I said, let me go see if it pops up in my ongoing games. It does not. So I wish it did, though, because it's fun, but does not. Anyway, if you play this, let me know. I have to go and do the league some point today, so the rest of it. Anyway, bye.